back to work. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Glacial Geek video. I am Phil, the Glacial Geek, coming to you here from my lair, where I am going to talk today about what I feel that the increase in plastic Horus Heresy models means for the hobby, and what it means for 40K, what it means for 30K, and what it could mean for everything going forward. The first big thing is that this is not the first releases of Horus Heresy patterned plastic models, but this is some of the first ones that we've had in a long time, and the other ones were really releases in just box sets that then got some extra stuff. So like you could still access for a little bit some of the tactical squads, and you could access the Terminators, which I think are the exact same ones from the big box, the Age of Darkness box that came out. I think it's the same, the Cataphractii Terminators that you get from that. But now we are getting things like close combat Leviathan Dreadnoughts. We're getting the Contemptor Dreadnought. The big box starter set is designed not around like a campaign situation. It's more just available to everything there, and it's just making it a lot more Horus Heresy stuff. So you've got the the Rhinos that came out. They previewed the pattern of Predator and the Rhino, all this different stuff that's coming out. You've got the Kratos new tank, that's super heavy tank that's come out for 40K, rules with 40K, but ostensibly for the Horus Heresy. And all of this is around the release of the brand new rule set. So, Horus Heresy 2.0, the newest rule set, which is essentially 7th edition with some tweaks, adding in reactions and changing a few things to make it more of an interesting game set. And from what I've heard, I haven't quite been able to play it yet myself. I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm building up my Alpha Legion set, and as you've seen in the in the color scheme thing that I've done, I'm building up a Horus Heresy Alpha Legion army so that I can play the game and get some stuff in. And I'm excited for it. I'm excited to give it a shot. I'm a little reticent because 7th edition I wasn't a big fan of it. By the end of it, it was annoying, and I know people are going to say it's the formations. It wasn't the formations. It was everything about it. All the little minor things like, is this on this facing of a vehicle? Is it on that facing of a vehicle? What are we talking about with the scattering of pie plates and all this different stuff? It became a lot, and I wonder if those same issues are going to come up in Horus Heresy. I don't see myself playing in a lot of Horus Heresy tournaments, so it may be less of an issue that I get into with people, but it's still up there. So I'm more than willing to give it a shot. People seem to very much like this. People seem to enjoy the game much better than they have 7th edition. So I'm cautiously optimistic to give it a shot. But with this big release, they've started to do, like I said, all this plastic releases. And what does it mean? Well, the big one that it's glaringly obvious, is that Horus Heresy is now far more accessible to your average wargamer. Now, your average wargamer is not your average individual. It's still, any of these wargames do require an investment in money. Like, the plastic kits are not cheap by any stretch of the imagination, but they are considerably cheaper than all of the resin models that they used to have to buy to play Horus Heresy. And this now opens it up to a lot of people, because previously there had been a lot of people that were talked about. There were some people that are like, yeah, play your 40K army, that sounds great, it's just Marines, why not play it in Horus Heresy? Because they wanted to play the system, they liked the system, they wanted to play with, usually it was because they wanted to play with their army that was Horus Heresy derived, and they wanted to find anybody to play with, because it was a far smaller group of people that were playing Horus Heresy than were playing 40K, at the time, and people were trying to get anyone to play that they could. But there were a lot of people out there that were like, leave your 40K models in 40K, come back, if you want to play in 30K, then play with 30K models. That, they would get upset about the different marks of armor that the Space Marines had. They would get upset about the different patterns of vehicles. So instead of the Demos pattern, which you see a lot of in Horus Heresy, if you're trying to run more modern variants that you get in 40K, it upset some people. And it also set up a situation where you had that kind of dichotomy where it seemed like 30K was far more of an elitist situation where you had to have a considerable amount of disposable income to play 30K because you needed to buy all of the resin models to play with it in the proper, in the proper fashion. Now there are still some Heresy stuff that you need to get. No, I changed my mind. You don't need to get anything in resin anymore. You can just play with the plastic models. You can put together an army with the box from the Age of Darkness, which is all plastic. And if you just don't want the stock from the box, you can then just purchase more plastic Horus Heresy stuff. So you've got, like I said, you've got the Siege, the Leviathan Siege Dreadnought. You've got the tanks that have coming out. And I don't imagine that that's where they're going to stop with these releases. I think that GW has decided that they want Horus Heresy to become a mainstay in their corral of games that they've got. So putting it in there with 40K and with AOS, and they want these to be some of their mainstay systems. And they're showing it by putting in the support to create these. And that bodes well to fans of Horus Heresy because it means that it's probably going to be an extended support of the system going forward. It'll be interesting to see if they start to make some of the FAQs and balances that they have with 40K or not, because a lot of people say they like it because it doesn't have it. I mean, the game's been out for a few months now, and we haven't seen anything with that. So we'll see. They haven't finished putting out all of the books yet. They still have, the Mechanicus one and then all the other ones that are supposed to be coming out eventually. And they haven't finished putting them all out, so it'll be interesting to see what happens when they all get put out, what they're going to do, if they're just going to leave it at that and just say, enjoy your rule set and enjoy your game. I mean, I don't foresee that being a thing. That's not kind of GW's way of being. It's also not a great way to make money as a company if you just make a thing and then just leave it there. But we don't know. We don't know what the future of 30K holds. But these releases of the plastic kits for Horus Heresy also affect the future realm of Warhammer into 40K. This model here used to be a big boy, I guess, with the guns and stuff that they have, but supposedly that's supposed to come in too. It used to be a big, contentious model because people that could afford to get Forge World were being able to use the Forge World rules for them, and now they're coming out in plastic kits that are going to be available in any of your game stores there. So anyone can pick up a Leviathan Dreadnought to put into their 40K Space Marine army now. If you wanted to have a different looking pattern of Predator, you now are probably going to have the Demos pattern that you can put in there that'll have all the same guns. It'll still be WYSIWYG. It'll still be a GW model. So all of it is usable in 40K. Just you have to use the 40K rules for it. And I think that this is awesome. Again, opening it up to your more average Joe players, so that you don't have to spend Forge World prices to run a Leviathan Dreadnought in your Space Marine army now. You can just spend what you would on a regular kit for a Space Marine Dreadnought anyway. And now you get to do it and have a Leviathan Dreadnought in your army. Maybe you want your army to look a little bit different, so you just kind of like the look of the Heresy era stuff, and you want to play them as with the rules for 40K because you like the 40K rule set. Now you can have like a 30K army in 40K with the rules there. My plan is to run my Alpha Legion as Heretic Astartes, as Chaos Space Marines in 40K, as well as using them as Heretic Astartes in 30K because Legionos Astartes. Because it's fun like that, and having that kind of versatility and that ability to play with things how you want to, play with your toys the way you want to, is great. And these new plastic kits open up the world of 30K and also a lot of the realm of Forge World rules in 40K up to some more of the players out there. I would be shocked if this model is not included in the next Space Marine Codex, whenever it comes out, whether it be in 10th edition or, Space Marines 2.0 and 9th edition. Either which way, I'd be shocked if this is not included in the Space Marine book, which kind of gets me to what this release of plastic models indicates to me. And it indicates to me that GW has decided they want to have more control over their products, over their rules over everything within the home system. So I know that GW stated that they are going to take over, that the main studio is going to take over the rule set for the 30K or the Forge World models in 40K, and I also think that with this release now, they're going to do all rule sets in the home at the home studio. So that the Age of Darkness Horus Heresy 2.0 is going to be controlled by GW versus Forge World, and I think part of that is they wanted to have a more uniform front that they could put forward with the gaming system, so that you don't have the kind of situations that for instance, that this model's resin partner created in 40K, where it felt like you had like one level of gamer that was playing with one set, but then others who had more money were able to play on a whole different rule set. And they didn't like that because it made people upset, and that's understandable. That if you have a set of customers, a set of players that were getting upset about something that you're putting out, that you would want to do what you could to change it in a way that was sustainable for you and sustainable for all of the going forward, the future of your game set. So, yeah, I don't think there's anyone out there that thinks that releasing plastic heresy stuff is a bad thing. It makes it available to more players to play 30K. It makes models like the Leviathan now more available to players in 40K. It creates it more viable to create an interesting looking army for your 40K army. Or it also just, allows you to create an army that you can play in both 30K and 40K without having to spend all the money of Forge World pricing. It'll be interesting to see what they turn Forge World into. I don't think that you're ever going to see some of those models. I don't think are ever going to become plastic kits. Like I don't think you're ever going to see a plastic Harridan, for instance. But then again, I never thought we'd see a plastic Leviathan. So color me. I would be pleasantly surprised if literally every kit in Forge World became a plastic kit. But I'm not holding my breath anytime soon for that. And it'll be interesting to see what they do if they are trying to phase out the Forge World system entirely, or if they are just maybe going to focus on Forge World being for more specialist units. I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly what they want Forge World to be now that they are kind of taking over a lot of the mainstay of what Forge World, because a lot of Forge World 30K was probably a big seller for Forge World, and if they're changing that, moving that over to Games Workshop proper, it'll be interesting to see what Forge World ends up becoming. Whether it just becomes a much smaller operation for them to make specialist things, or if they just phase it out entirely over the next couple of years, and just anything that's not available in plastic is just not going to be a thing for GW anymore. So, it'll be interesting to see how that goes, but I don't think there's anyone out there that's super upset that we're getting cool plastic models that we can play in any of the Ks that we want to. So let me know what you think. Are you excited to see this plastic kit? Like I said, I don't think there's anyone out... Maybe there's people out there. I mean, I never underestimate the ability of people to be upset about things. But I feel like there are very few people out there that are upset about plastic kits coming out for 30K, or plastic kits for models that could be played in 40K coming out that were only previously available in resin. And it was funny because I was talking about this model when I got it, and I was saying to my wife, this Leviathan model was my treat yourself model that I bought a couple of years ago at LVO when GW and their Forge World team were at LVO, and it was the tournament happened to fall on my birthday, and I was like, I'm gonna get myself a birthday present, and it was like $100 and something to buy a Leviathan Dreadnought and its various pieces, and now here it is in plastic form, which is super exciting. I am very excited to see them come out like this, because it's a cool model, and it's always fun to get cool models and be able to play with them. But let me know what you think down below. If you think that the release of 40K, that the opening the doors to 30K to the larger gaming populace is a positive or not. And maybe more 30K players out there will be able to play against more 30K armies in their games of 30K now in the Horus Heresy. That you don't have to beg your Space Marine 40K Space Marine playing friends to just play with their models in your system, you can now hopefully find more players with 30k models with the proper armor types out there to play against. So yeah, let me know what you guys think down below, and I hope you guys have found this interesting. I certainly have. I'm very excited about all this. So I have been Phil the Glacial Geek as always, and until next time, stay safe and have fun.